Hi everyone, welcome back to Clues by Sam. We have a hard one today. It is Friday. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people. They may be criminals or innocents and they give you clues. You gotta use those clues to figure out who is what, and you gotta do no guessing. I'm here every day playing Clues by Sam if you want to check it out. But if you want to play the game before watching, you can check the link in the description. I can see a peek of a clue here, so I'm gonna start. We have Julie telling us that Freya and Helen have no innocent neighbors in common. Helen's here and Freya is here. They have 3 neighbors in common, Betty, Gary, and Kyle, and none of them are innocent. So we know about 3 people already right off the bat, and I guess we don't need Julie's clue anymore. And we get 3 new clues. Betty tells us that both innocents in row 2 are connected. Row 2 is here. And since we know that there are 2 innocents and the only people that can be connected and are still not assigned are Helen and Isaac, we know that both of them are innocent. We get 2 more people already, and we don't need Betty's clue anymore. I guess we know that Freya is a criminal because both means there's only 2 innocents in row 2. So let's jump to Gary's. Exactly 1 innocent above Xavi is neighboring Thor. Above Xavi, there are 2 people that neighbor Thor, Lucy and Sophia. And one of them is an innocent. The other one is a criminal, but we don't know much more than that. Kyle tells us there are more innocents than criminals in row 5. Okay, we still don't know much about that either. There are more criminals than innocents. I guess... Oh, I read it wrong already. Oh my god, how do I do that always? There are more innocents than criminals in row 5. So we know that 3 people are innocents in row 5. I guess let's make it look like so. And one of them is criminal. Because if 2 of them were to be innocents, then we would have 2 criminals. There's 4 people in total, and that is 1 equal the other and not 1 more than the other. And obviously, if there were to be 1 innocent, it would be less than criminals. So we know that 3 people in row 5 are innocents. What else? Now let's go for Helen. There's an odd number of criminals to the left of Zach. To the left of Zach, who is the last person on the board, there's an odd number of criminals. Well, we know that there has to be only 1 criminal in row 5. So if one of them is here to the left of Zach, we know that Zach is an innocent for sure. One of the 3 innocents in row 5. Now Isaac tells us that Vicky and I have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Okay, we don't know about Vicky's neighbors yet. Or Isaac's, for that matter. So let's jump back to Freya. Freya tells us that Mary has more innocent neighbors than Peter. Do we know something about Peter? Where is Peter? Peter is here. And who else? Mary. Mary is here. Well, we know that Mary has at least 3 innocent neighbors, because there's 1 here, either Lucy or Sophia, and then there will be Helen and Isaac, so that's 3 innocent neighbors. Mary has more innocent neighbors than Peter. Peter only has 1 innocent neighbor so far. He could have 2 if both Vicky and Wanda are innocent. 3, I guess, because then it would be Julie plus these two people. And then they will have the same number, so it will be left for either Ruth or Thor to be the difference. But what am I missing here? Have I read Sex Clue? Only one of the 3 innocents neighboring Peter is above Wanda. Oh, so we know the total of innocents that Peter has as neighbors. And it is 3. So we know that Mary has to have 4. Since we just checked that she has 3 already, Thor has to be an innocent to make 4. Good. And what's the rest of the clue? Only one of the 3 innocents neighboring Peter is above Wanda. Well, the only person above Wanda that could be an innocent is Ruth, and she is neighboring Peter, so she is an innocent. And we know that either Vicky or Wanda are a criminal. And the other one is an innocent, because Peter only has 3 innocent neighbors. But that also tells us that Xavier is an innocent. He's the 3rd innocent in column 5, row 5, sorry. Always mix those up. So I guess we don't need Sex Clue anymore, do we? What else? We don't need Freya's clue anymore. Now Thor tells us that Ruth and Adam have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Adam. Asymmetrics, if you're watching this, that's you. You're a farmer now. Ruth and Adam have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Well, Adam has no criminal neighbors at all, and he can't have any because he has 3 neighbors total and all of them are criminal already. So Ruth has to have 3 criminal neighbors, and she has 1 already, who is Kyle. She's gonna have 1 more, who is gonna be either Lucy or Sophia, and another one who's gonna be either Vicky or Wanda. So that's 3. Now Peter is an innocent. So Peter tells us that there are more innocents among cops than any other profession. Do we know about any cops? We know 1 cop, Julie, another one, Peter. Both of them are innocent. There are more innocents among cops than any other profession. Do we have any other professions who have 2 innocents already? No, we don't. So I might have missed something. Oh. I guess we don't need Thor's clue anymore. Or Kyle's. What about Isaac? Vicky and I have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Vicky can only have 1 criminal neighbor at the moment, if Wanda is a criminal. If that is, then Isaac could have at most 1 criminal neighbor as well. But we still don't know who. Now, Gary doesn't tell us anything that we need to know. My phone's ringing with spam. There are more innocents among cops than any other profession. I guess we gotta think about that the other way around, so we gotta flip it. There are 2 cops already who are innocents. If any other professions have only 2 people and one of them are innocent, the other one cannot be an innocent as well. So let's look at that. For example, Isaac is a cook and he is an innocent. Mary is a cook. Are there any other cooks? No, doesn't seem like it. So Mary couldn't be an innocent because, or I guess she could. If she is to be an innocent, then Eric would have to be an innocent as well. Because the only way for there to be more innocent cops is if all of them are innocents, when there's any other professions that have 2 people total and both of them are innocent. Any other professions that help us disambiguate that? Doctors. We have Gary, criminal doctor, so that doesn't help us. I guess we get Ruth as a doctor. And that puts us in the same scenario. If Dick is an innocent, then Eric has to be an innocent as well. And then it wouldn't matter what Mary is. So much. Any other professions? We have teachers. 1 innocent teacher, 1 criminal one. Pilots. 1 criminal, 1 innocent. Sleuths. 1 criminal, 1 innocent, or maybe both of them innocent. But also judges, maybe both of them innocent. Actually, there's 1 judge who is innocent already. So let's think about this. If Mary, Vicky, and Isaac have an equal number of criminal neighbors. If Wanda were to be a criminal, Isaac would have to have 1 criminal neighbor. If Wanda is a criminal, Vicky is an innocent. And that makes us have 2 judges who are innocents, which forces us to have Eric as an innocent. But Isaac still has to have 1 innocent neighbor, 1 criminal neighbor. It could be Dick, it could be Mary, or it could be Lucy. We don't know. And it wouldn't matter. Now, if Wanda were to be a criminal, if Wanda were to be an innocent, and Vicky a criminal, we're still in a situation where Eric could be a criminal. Unless someone else is. Actually, no. Because now Vicky has no criminal neighbors, so Isaac has to have no criminal neighbors. So that will make everyone here innocent and Sophia criminal. Does that work? Mary has more innocent neighbors than Peter. Where's Mary? Mary has more innocent neighbors than Peter. We know that Peter has 3. Mary has to have 4. She's gonna have 4. There's no way she doesn't have 4. Exactly 1 innocent above Xavier's neighboring Tor. Okay, we know about that. Not number of criminals to the left of Zach. Yeah, Vicky and I, okay, we're looking into that. Freya and Helen have no innocent neighbors in common. First clue. There are more innocents than criminals in row 5. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Ruth and Adam have an equal number of criminal neighbors. We've dealt with that. Only one of the 3 innocents neighboring Peter is above Wanda. Don't need that either. So yeah, we gotta use what we have, which is the professions clue and the equal number of criminal neighbors. So let's switch this up. Let's make Vicky an innocent and Wanda a criminal. Now we know that since Vicky is an innocent, Eric has to be an innocent as well. And Isaac has to have 1 criminal neighbor. But what he can't have is Lucy as a criminal. Because if Lucy is a criminal, so Sophia will be an innocent, and now we have same number of cops, innocents and innocent judges. So that can't happen. This can't. But if Vicky is an innocent, is a criminal, and Wanda is an innocent, and Lucy an innocent, and Sophia a criminal, then Eric could be a criminal. But he won't, because in this situation, Isaac has no innocent neighbors, no criminal neighbors, sorry. So we know that Eric is always an innocent. Right? If Sophia is an innocent, then Vicky would have to be a criminal, so we don't match the cops numbers. So that would break. So we know that Eric is an innocent. But do we also know that any of the others are something else? Or do we not? Well, what does Eric tell us? There are 8 criminals in total. We know about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of them already. So there has to be 1 more criminal in here. And it can't be not 1 more, 2 more, right? 6. So we have 1 in here, either Lucy and Sophia. 2, Vicky or Wanda. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we need 2 more. And there's no way that both of them are here, because there's no way for Isaac to have 2 criminal neighbors, even if Lucy is an innocent. So Adam is for sure a criminal. What else do we know? One more criminal to figure out. Let's say it's Mary. Then both Lucy and Dick would have to be innocents, and now Sophia is a criminal. Now Wanda is a criminal, and Vicky. Oh, so we know that one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. Yeah, we know that there has to be that Isaac has to have 1 criminal neighbor. And if he doesn't, my logic is suffering today. If Vicky is a criminal, now Isaac can have no criminal neighbors at all. So there will be no way for us to have 8 criminals on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's no way for Vicky to be a criminal. Wanda has to be our criminal. Oof, hard. Now, Wanda tells us that exactly 2 innocents in column C are neighboring Betty. Where's Betty? Betty only has 2 neighbors in column C. So both of them have to be innocents, according to Wanda. So Dick is an innocent. What else? Either Lucy or Mary have to be a criminal. And that is so because if both Lucy and Mary are criminals, Isaac has 2 criminal neighbors, which he can't have. And if Lucy is a criminal and Mary is an innocent, now we have no way of having 8 criminals on the board, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Lucy is an innocent and both Mary and Sophia are criminals. Wow, that was hard indeed. 24 minutes, yeah. But at least we have a all green one, and it was really nice. I think it's Friday, my brain is already on weekend mode, so that was a bit harder for me, but I did manage to get through without making any mistakes, and I'm happy with that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did play the game, let me know. I'd love to know that. I'll be back tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see that.